We're
Smooth.
back. We are back. Did you like that fade transmission?
That was beautiful. We are back after a long break.
Where were you?
Where was I? I was busy with uni work, I'll be honest. Where were you, Abdul Rehman?
I was also busy with uni work. I mean, since like any excuse passes these days.
Because nobody's here to double check our facts.
Or are they? Are they?
Well, Omar's not here. He was supposed to be here.
Where is he? Also busy with uni work.
Apparently he's helping his sister pack. She's traveling this weekend.
Oh, safe flight
Safe flight.
and safe packing.
Safe packing if there is a flight. And if there
There's
is
probably a
packing.
flight.
Yeah, no,
This
definitely.
is probably fine. Come on. Anyways, so have you been watching the Euros? Well, if someone saw your podcast, they would have been like, no, they haven't.
We have been on and off, I think. Different games we've been catching. Definitely saw the games yesterday, the final day of group
Group
stage
F.
game, Group F games between Germany
I
and...
saw this one tweet.
Yeah,
I think you retweeted it.
okay.
It was called. It tweets something like, "It's directed by who?"
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Because we've been watching for hours and you have no idea what's going
We have
on.
no idea what... Sponsors, you know what to do. Hit us up. We're not begging, but we would
Shameless.
kindly
Shameless.
request. All right, so no, let's
You can tell we're tired.
we are
from
tired.
uni work.
Let's get straight into it.
Okay. Let's get
Um,
into it.
group stages. What did you make of them? Who were your star performers? Who were the teams that messed up?
Well, okay, just going straight off the bat,
Mhm.
no order, or do you want to
Yeah.
go in order? You know,
Why not?
I think let's go in order.
Yeah,
for
group by
groups.
group. Yeah. All right. So Group A
That makes more sense.
consisted of Turkey, Italy, Wales, and Switzerland, I believe.
Well, just start off, right?
Yeah.
Italy were, I'm not gonna lie, Italy were probably the star surprise for me
Mm-hmm.
the whole tournament.
I called it.
I didn't
I called it, Abdurrahman. You called me a madman.
I didn't call you a madman.
I called
I
it.
probably called you mad.
Yeah, that doesn't make it much better, does it?
No, I probably didn't call you a madman.
Mm.
Like, unless if it's done on a podcast, I haven't. I didn't think he would. I didn't think they would perform so well
Mm.
as a team.
Yeah.
But then again, their group has been very, very suspiciously bad.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
Turkey,
Turkey.
quite the opposite. You
Terrible,
thought
terrible.
they'd be great, and they were
Yeah.
like absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for Gareth Wales. They've performed really well.
Gareth Wales.
So I think that was, I think they've done well and they've gone through.
Yeah, and Switzerland as well going through.
Well, I'm-
Shaqiri always turning up. I don't know.
Neutral. I'm neutral on Switzerland. So yeah,
That's
it is
Group
what
A.
it is.
Italy.
What about you? You said you called Italy.
Yeah, I call them my predicted winners. I think they are gonna win the tournament.
Did you think Jorginho was just going to carry on the Champions League form?
Not just Jorginho. I thought the midfield of Jorginho, Barella, and Verratti was too strong.
Oh man, Barella has been so good, and
Mm.
with Verratti, I think they make like two of the possibly best ball carriers
Mm.
in the whole Euros. And
Yeah.
I'm putting them ahead of France's midfield in
Mm.
terms of ball carrying
Yeah.
ability and.
Maybe even Croatia's with Modric and Kovacic.
Yeah, we've seen
And
how Kovacic,
Brozovic.
we've seen how Kovacic has played. I don't think there's any star-studded like.
No, but like, yeah, no. And the thing is, Verratti hasn't been able to break into the first team. He played that rotation game, the third game, when
'cause
Locatelli.
I think he's been coming off like on a very injury-plagued season
Yeah.
with PSG.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Locatelli, like he played great in those first two. I caught him in my fantasy team, and that guy got benched.
Yeah, a lot of people have faced that problem.
Mancini's really doing the Pep Guardiola. I think it's like.
But he's got the class. Did you see that picture with the blazer thrown over the shoulder? I mean, what a
I know
guy.
it's always like kind of difficult to see who's been the better player, but
Yeah.
we've got a few stand-up better managers, and I think Mancini definitely is probably won both of our groups.
Up there. Let's keep this going. I'll move on straight to Group 2. Belgium number 1, Denmark, Finland finishing third but not qualifying, and Russia fourth. let's start with Russia. You know what? We saw them have like that ridiculously good World Cup 2018 where it felt like they were high on something.
Remind me where the 2018 World Cup was. Where was it?
Golovin was like the guy, the
And
most.
where is he?
He was playing. He was playing.
Yeah, I know. It kind of felt like he had like Lord of the Rings, you know, the ring from Lord of the
Yeah,
Rings, because he disappeared.
he disappeared. But yeah, no. You wouldn't have expected them to finish fourth, though. I mean, below the likes of Finland, who I think this is their first professional tournament.
I didn't think they would finish fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually backing them, given on that form.
Yeah.
I mean, they knocked out Spain for like on penalties, right?
Mm.
So I was expecting them to go into like the knockouts.
Yeah.
So it was a surprise for me. Because again, our reference is going to be fantasy. So
Yeah.
like, when I was drafting on my fantasy team, I had like a player that I was considering,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, perhaps not.
Yeah.
Cheap players and whatnot, but yeah, that's largely disappointing on Russia's behalf. Happy for Finland though.
Yeah.
I think it's like their first major tournament.
Yeah. And third place is not bad.
First major
Yeah.
tournament for Finland, and third place, and I mean, if they hadn't gotten hammered by Belgium, right?
Yeah.
They could have probably made it through as well.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Denmark. First of all, we got to talk about Christian Eriksen. Safe recovery. Hope he's back very soon.
I mean,
yeah.
life is more important than football.
Yeah.
No matter what people say in the heat of the moment, life and health.
Yeah.
More important than football.
Denmark lost their first two games.
Yeah.
And still managed to finish second, or like a huge victory in the last game.
I really heavily want to talk about that first game.
Okay.
There is so much straight up BS and just nonsensical claims that. Are you kidding me? That you really think that the Danish players just voluntarily got up? Oh, let's finish this match.
Yeah.
I am not buying that. Like, just because UEFA releases a press...
Yeah.
Like these guys are so... I'm a gullible person. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Scammers, don't listen to this.
I'm a gullible person. I'm not even kidding. Like, generally, because if you tell me something, I'm going to believe you. And then you're like, jokes. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. How
are these guys just eating up UEFA garbage?
Yeah.
Just because it comes from UEFA.com doesn't mean it's authentic. Like, so I don't know if you heard, but they were given the option to finish that match
on that day
or the next day.
Or if not, take a 3-0 forfeit defeat.
So the options were you play now, you play tomorrow, or you lose.
And we wouldn't have heard of this, by the way, if it wasn't for Kasper Schmeichel's father saying this.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the players. It wasn't one of the UEFA people. It wasn't one of the players who featured in the game. It was obviously like a person, I guess, not related.
But just think about it.
It's ridiculous.
Just think about it, right? At that time and moment, all right, Eriksen has said, go on and play.
Well, he's not going to ask for his teammates to take a 3-0 defeat.
Like 3-0 defeat, they're definitely out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Because even if they have to beat Belgium, that's not happening. So they have to beat the other team like 5-0.
And then hope for a goal difference.
Hope that like Belgium doesn't hammer them.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. And I could honestly, I mean, there were some people that were like, no, the players decided to play.
No, they really didn't.
Brain cells, where art thou? Like, come on, like, just think about it. And I just don't think that was a fair settlement given to the Danish players at that time and moment. Just because, put yourself in that dressing room, right? If you've played any team sport at any level, even if it was like in year 2, like, soccer or football with like, after school, if you were playing 3-a-side football in your backyard, right? The emotions are very riled up in that moment. How are you expecting the Danish teammates who've known Eriksen for perhaps 20 years, some of them from
longer
club football, right? Some 15 years, some 10 years. they don't know if he's gonna live or die.
You could see them on the pitch. They were crying. They were in tears.
You don't know if they're gonna live or die.
Most of those players turned their backs when they were standing, covering him around. They couldn't like even bear to think the fact that something might happen here. We don't want to.
So you're expecting the same guys to go on and say, yeah, we're okay to play another 50 minutes of football. You can't even think about adding 2 and 2 together, like just doing simple mental math. Just utterly disgraceful. I think they should have just
rescheduled it for
look at the time that we have now. We had 3-day gap.
Yeah.
One of these days, I think, would have been more than fitting. Like, they could have scheduled it for today.
Yeah.
Literally nothing happening today.
There would be no difference whatsoever because there would still be a day off tomorrow and the day after for them to recover.
And if there were going to be group clashes, it would just have been one more match. Yeah. And they could have scheduled now. Yeah. TV rights and whatnot matters more to UEFA, saviors of the football.
Yeah. Well, Abdul Rehman's Denmark, UEFA rant has come to its UEFA rant has come to its conclusion. Let's talk about group leaders Belgium. De Bruyne back, Hazard back. Excited?
De Bruyne, I would say, has been a great injection into that Belgium team. You've seen him play, right? Like Hazard's still working his way, but De Bruyne set the ground running.
De Bruyne had an instant impact, a goal and an assist.
I have a question for you, Umar. Yeah. What do you think about that defense? So far, it's been that all attack, but with all due respect to Denmark, Finland, and Russia, not on steroids. They don't really
pose a threat.
They're not the most potent attack, right? Yeah. You don't really look at them and be like, oh, the defenders are shivering. Shiver me timbers. Yeah. Right? It's more like, well, we'll clear out the crosses. We just have to defend the corners. Yeah. It's not proper defending. Yeah. So what do you make out of those defenders when they go on and face the likes of, the knockout?
They face Portugal. We'll go on to that soon.
Teams, right? The likes of like Ronaldo, Diogo Jota.
Yeah. No, I personally, I don't know. Like, obviously, their attack in midfield is like head and shoulders clear of most of the teams here, and their keeper, obviously. Yeah. But the defense, obviously, there are problems. There are concerns regarding Alderweireld's age, Vertonghen's age, Boyata and Denier not being up to speed. Their fullbacks as well, Munier and whatnot. I just think that in these tournaments, sometimes teams, if they have one problem, they can just sort of paper over it. They can ride their luck and they can just make it through. And I feel like for Belgium, they have like outstanding, as I said, Courtois in goal. They have forwards, midfielders, whatever, of the highest quality. I feel like defense. I feel like they can actually win this because it is concerning. But I mean, name me one team that's won a tournament that has just completely dominated tournament from attack to defense in every department.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. But then I think in tournament, especially knockout football, having a good defense is more important than having because it's knockout football. You end the game 0-0. Yeah. Or you go out on a counter.
Especially finals, which tend to, I get you.
You really need that solid backline. And just looking back to in the 2018 World Cup, right?
Against France.
Yeah. I mean, that Belgium team, I think, still had a better defense than, a lot of these guys were younger. Yeah. Alderweireld and stuff, they were actually on form. Yeah. Vermaelen was benched, somewhat so, right? And just thinking about it, now it's the same defense 3 years later. Haven't gotten any younger, right? Haven't gotten any better. No star player has come out, unlike you could say Thorgan Hazard, right? Or Carrasco, who's back as well.
Carrasco's in top form,
hit top form.
Forward players, yeah.
No one on defense, no one in the back line that you can be like, you know what? These guys are actually like solid defenders.
One defender who did have a good season was Castagna, but he got injured and he might not play again.
That is so true.
And now his replacement's Munier, so here we are.
Well, I think Munier, he would have made it anyways, despite being the cause of Real Madrid's problems for the last 3 years. But I hope Belgium go far because they've been the dark horses, and this is literally their golden generation.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much longer it will be sustained, or how much longer they'll be able to keep it, right?
Yeah, that's true. Um, Belgium to win the World Cup prediction? Yes, no.
World Cup?
Euros.
Euro Cup?
Sorry.
I would say they're my top three.
Top three, alongside Italy
And France.
and France. Okay, perfect. Group C, clear favorites, clear with the 9 points. Netherlands.
Netherlands?
And then we have Austria, your new boy David Alaba shining.
Yeah.
First playing winger, then playing center back, then playing winger again.
I mean, I think he just takes it as like astro football, like, you know, five-a-side your logo, like small pitch of grass or something. He's
Yeah.
like, okay,
I'm
one day
everywhere.
playing there and I'm
Yeah,
I'm surprised he doesn't play goalkeeper.
yeah.
Probably
Third
not too
place.
good with his hands.
Third place, who did make it, Ukraine, and finally Macedonia with the young Goran Pandev playing his last international game.
Well, I think for them, I think it was just like a huge achievement that the
Mm.
fact that they made it.
They even made it, yeah.
But just Netherlands,
Netherlands.
probably the standout team.
Mm-hmm.
What are your take on that? Why aren't they getting the hype? The fact that, you know, the likes of Italy
Mm-hmm.
have gotten, because they've performed better
Mm.
overall, defensively, offensively,
Mm.
right? But why is Italy getting all this, you know,
Mm.
all the fireworks and plaudits?
I feel like there's a lot more star players in Italy than there are in Netherlands. You've got Depay, who is
Okay.
probably not considered as good as Immobile. Immobile just had one of the best seasons in
Okay.
Italian football.
That's a give or take. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much to go on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's one standout player.
In Italy?
No, in
In
that
Nether-
comparison
Okay.
between Depay and Immobile.
Okay.
Like, Immobile's been good, but he plays for
The-
Lazio,
the-
and
the-
Depay just got himself transferred to Barcelona.
The only difference is that Depay is their star man, whereas Italy have at least 5, 6 different star men.
Okay, fair enough.
You could make the same argument about Wijnaldum. He just got himself a move to PSG.
Yeah.
But then you've got Barella, Jorginho, Verratti in the other midfield, you know, and you don't have that firepower. You have Frankie, but again,
Okay.
Netherlands lacking in defense. Obviously, that's with Italy. You got to consider their defense.
I mean, yeah, they got the names, but like
they got the names, but
you know, we know the names of Tyrannosaurus Rex as well. Like, it doesn't mean they're gonna be any good to anyone right now. Like, it's history. I mean, when was the last time that you ever saw a football game and you were like, "Wow, Bonucci, man, he still got it."
I mean, you can say that, but then again, Italy haven't conceded. That first game Netherlands played,
Yeah.
they were 2-0 up, and it became 2-2 just like that in a matter of minutes. You know, they were very shaky. Their wing backs especially, you know, they bomb down the wings a
Very
lot,
good, yeah.
and, you know, they leave in a lot of space. So, you know, Florenzi, you see him not go forward as
Yeah,
much
yeah.
as Dumfries or Spinazzola
Dumfries
with.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, I think, like, he had quality, but
Yeah.
like, I think it's probably quite a standout burst of what's it called, 3 games for him so
Mm.
far.
Yeah. Netherlands impressing a lot of people as well, you know. De Boer with his Premier League record.
Yeah.
7 games, 7 defeats.
7 games, 7 defeats.
0
The
goals
infamous,
scored.
Jose Mourinho speech.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I would say I put Netherlands to qualify till the semis, given their bracket, which we'll
Yeah.
soon talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about how disappointing, you know. No, we're not there yet.
Mhm.
Let's talk about Ukraine and Austria qualifying and
Okay.
what their qualification means. Is it like, I mean, the fact that they qualified out of the group stage,
Yeah.
that's pretty much their tournament, right?
I'm sure that both of those teams, especially given that the tournament had 4 third place teams qualifying, and North Macedonia probably, obviously, you know,
Yeah.
with their first tournament, they weren't expected. I think both of those teams would have expected to qualify into the round of 16. So they've done what was required.
Like the minimum
Yeah,
expectation.
minimum. Now from here forward, wherever they go, like even if they make it to the quarterfinals and they get through their round of 16 fixtures, I think that would be like a positive for them because both of those teams are probably, not the favorites in their respective ties,
Okay, fair enough.
which we'll get into very soon. Just
yeah.
one thing, we talked about Gareth Bale before.
Yeah.
Gareth Wales. You can make the same argument for Yarmolenko. This guy plays for West Ham, but you've never seen him play for West Ham.
That's true. Yarmolenko has been insane. I think
Insane.
he had that game where he scored 2 goals
Yeah.
against the Dutch.
Yeah, these wingers, these Gareth Bale, Shaqiri,
They just
Yarmolenko, they just turn up for the
in the
countries.
Euros.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we saying? It's like we were always like just getting out of me, but like Renato Sanchez, right?
Renato
he only
Sanchez.
turns up to the Euros.
Honestly.
2016, 2020. Next time you'll see him is 2024.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also a failed winger.
He had a really good season though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
he had a very, very good
He did,
season.
he did.
Yeah. Should definitely be starting all of Portugal's remaining games.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer,
Yeah.
honestly.
All right, we'll get into the Portuguese team and that group later. Group D, football's coming home. England with Raza Sterling scoring both the goals.
All 2 of them?
All 2 of them.
Wow. I wonder how they do it.
England first, Croatia second with only one win. Sorry. Czech Republic third. Although they impressed a lot of people this tournament, and finally Scotland.
Well played, Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think for them, the fact that they got to
The Euros.
again.
This was after like a long time, wasn't it? Yeah.
Like internationally, Scotland really hasn't been up there.
Yeah.
They had a couple of good guys, right? Like they have a good team building around.
They have a Robertson and then 10 other players.
No, they have Robertson, they had Tierney, they had like what's it called?
Tierney's been unfit for like the longest time.
Fair enough, but like Scott McTots and
Scotty McToddy.
Yeah. They got a few good guys and McGinn as well, right?
Yeah.
So like
You would have
it's Stoke City FC.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see with international football, right? It's a little less predictable.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of star players but very little chemistry.
Yeah.
So it can go either way. Regardless, it was fun to watch. They came, they showed up. Just looking at Croatia though, right? How disappointing were Croatia? Like personally, for me, they are like shades worse than 2018. I felt like their drop has been very comparable to Russia's.
Okay.
And now you start to wonder what were Croatia taking at the 2018 World Cup.
I wouldn't.
Apart from those retirements, of course.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a disappointing tournament from them, considering the fact that I don't know, there were most of those knockout fixtures in the last World Cup. They had to win on penalties or extra time. They took it right to the very end, and again we saw them take it right to the
underdogs as well. Right? That was their story, the underdog story.
Yeah. And to be honest, they were the second favorites in this group probably, and they finished number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
Even though it was on the last day, but I feel like that midfield of Modric, Kovacic, Brozovic, and then they have Perisic as well, turning up, another tricky winger who just always turns up for the country, doing the business. I wouldn't say they've been disappointing. I think I would have expected that off of them. Going forward from here, let's see how far they go. I don't think they're going to go into the semifinals. I think quarterfinal would be a good success for them.
I think, I felt like they needed that revamp with everything going on. Rakitic retired, Mandzukic retired, Lovren injured.
The 3 key men.
I mean, it was, regardless of how funny it was, but like that core, was still important to Croatia, and now it's just not there anymore.
I think that game against Czech Republic was the only disappointing one from Croatia's point of view, and you could argue that
even England, I felt like England didn't play anyone off the pitch. Let's get into England right now.
Let's dig into
England didn't really like the kind of football they played was.
Gareth Southgate football.
I felt it was worse than 2018.
Oh, for sure.
So, Gareth Southgate was in 2018 as well. So, what's the problem? Like, it's not the players. The players have gotten better.
The problem is Gareth Southgate. Before, what he achieved with the team were the underdogs, were the crap team, the crap players with the John Stones and whatnot. Now, all of a sudden, these players have become good, and
The John Stones.
now they're the favorites, or the stronger team in these games. You expect them to play different. You expect them to take games by the throat or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just not. It's the same. I feel like the football is very similar or the same, because the World Cup, I think you might be forgetting, they were playing a 5-1-4 formation with Dyer as the lone midfielder the whole time.
Very, very clearly.
Yeah, and that was disgusting football, but it got the job done.
I mean, that was just knocking in crosses.
Yeah,
right?
that was.
For Harry Kane to clean up the messes.
Yeah.
Either coming off defenders or just
winning some crap penalty, and then this time 0 goals. Zero goals.
I feel like this kind of football, like, I'm glad that they got out of the group, because now they can continue playing this kind of football in the knockouts.
Yeah.
This kind of football, like, you can just shithouse your way through in the knockouts.
Yeah.
But you can't play this kind of football in the group stage, because you can end up drawing 3 games and be knocked out.
That's true.
But they're through. And who do they play?
Germany.
Germany. So good luck to them. They'll need it.
They'll really need it.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next group then.
Next group, the Alexander Isak group.
Exactly.
Sweden first, Spain second,
Yeah.
Slovakia third, and Poland fourth.
Poland fourth.
Yeah.
Poland going out.
And Slovakia as well.
Poland going out as fourth place, and Slovakia going out as third place. Well, I would say not so disappointing from Poland, but I'd still say it's disappointing, because I was looking at their team, right? They've got quite recognizable names, names that were, you know them from the big leagues.
You know them from the big teams.
And the fact that they're around shows that they have some, quality. For example, I know more Polish players than I know Austrian players.
That's
even for the fact that Ukrainian players.
Or Slovakia players on their group,
So...
they've got arguably the best centre forward in world football.
Well, yeah. At the stage,
Yeah. But then you could make that argument for England as well.
Yeah, but England went through, right?
England went through
as group winners, and Poland went out as
group losers,
dead bottom. So that's a very different argument. Like, I think that we'd be having a very, very different conversation if England finished fourth.
So Lewandowski was the star striker of this group, but there were 2 strikers who made all the headlines in this group. One for the right reasons, Isak, and one for the wrong reasons, Alvaro. Oh.
That guy has amassed so much, value in transfer fees. I don't know what his agent convinces the kind of...
This is David Luiz all over again. Buy from Benfica for 30, sell to PSG for 50, buy back for 30 again. What's going on?
I mean, he went from Madrid to Juve,
to Madrid,
back,
to Chelsea, Atletico, back to Juve. Wow. What?
He just went around 4 clubs, and I think he's probably amassed over 200 million just in transfer fees.
More, definitely more.
Yeah, for sure.
But what a crap tournament he's had. What a Morata tournament he's had. I mean
why is he playing? No, listen. Why is he playing?
Here we go, rant number 2, boy.
No, just think about it. Right?
Yeah.
Just put your brain cells to work. Just think about it. Do Spain have a lack of strikers? No. They got Gerard Moreno, who's been playing as a winger. Probably the highest Spanish scorer.
Yeah.
Right, if my memory serves correct.
Iago Aspas, not even selected.
Not even in the... what's going on, right? Why is he... The fact that he's playing is... What's it called? It's Luis Enrique's fault.
Luis Enrique. Let's just get this out there.
It's his fault.
The team selection, just the squad selection in general. Like, are you kidding me, man? Adama Traore probably had the worst season.
I don't even think he played like more than 10 games.
I think he had no. He played.
But he was so bad. That
He
it
was
felt
so
like he played
bad.
10
Yeah.
games.
I think he has 1 goal and 1 assist all season, and he's one of the forward options. And Iago Aspas with the
He
40 goal
has-
contributions.
Adam Traore has 2 goal and assists contributions more than me.
Maybe you should.
He has 1 more goal than me.
The Spanish
don't-
embassy
I
and the
don't-
passport.
I don't think.
Or if you want to sponsor us,
State sponsored podcasts. Well,
controversial, but we won't go there. No, Spain though, ridiculous.
I mean, they've been disappointing in their play, whatnot. They don't really have a structure that they need to play with. Aspilicueta, who's been playing as a center back, is playing as a right back.
Hey, he started 1 game and they won 5-0. That's my Champions League winning captain right there. El Capitano.
Yeah, you could say Busquets also started that 1 game as well, and Pablo Sarabia also started that 1 game.
Legend of the game.
Unreplaceable.
Why is Sarabia playing? I don't understand.
Why is Sarabia in the squad? He barely makes PSG's lineup.
Bench. He
Yeah,
barely makes their
bench.
bench, not the lineup.
I don't remember Sarabia coming on for like a Champions League game or
No.
something. You kind of feel like
Ander Herrera plays for PSG.
Ander Herrera plays. I
I'm
mean,
not-
slightly different roles, but
Yeah, no.
still,
Yeah.
that's the comparison.
Yeah.
You get Eric Garcia starting.
Eric Garcia didn't even play all season. He played
Not
3
only
games.
that, but when he played, Manchester City fans will tell you
yeah,
how good he was.
Just another Gerard Piqué. Honestly.
Worse than Piqué. I like even Piqué made that joke. Like when I came from Manchester, I won the Champions League. He's coming while he's losing. So it was a joke and fun humor and whatnot. But I have to say, like, Spain looked like a mess, and I don't think.
Do they get past the round of 16?
Well, who are they playing?
They are playing Croatia. Oh no, yeah, Croatia.
I think they get past Croatia.
I don't think so.
I think they get past Croatia.
Mm.
I think they should be favorites. Like in any logic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Croatia, man, come on.
But Spain.
They got like a dinosaur carrying them through.
That might be true, but Spain, come on, they've got Morata carrying them through. No, they've got Martin Dubravka carrying them through. Let's be clear.
Listen, if you look at Spain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Morata's been really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been bad because those kind of opportunities fall to his feet and he misses them.
Mm-hmm.
You just change that one thing and everything should start clicking, right?
Okay.
You get someone who can just look at the goal
Mm-hmm.
instead of the fans, and I think you're scoring 1 or 2 more goals, right?
The issue isn't just with the Morata though. Remember Lewandowski's goal against Spain?
Yeah.
He just bullied Laporte. Like Laporte is supposed to be a big, strong defender, and he just gets bullied. Like
But
he's
that is
absolutely
Lewandowski.
nobody.
Come on, like I know the
4th place Lewandowski.
4th place Lewandowski for sure, but I think that was like individual brilliance.
Yeah. Fair. Predictions here. Abdurrahman thinks Spain are going through against Croatia.
We'll
I
get
don't
to the
think
round
so.
16 quickly.
All right.
Let's get
Last
to-
group, the big group. France, then Germany, then Portugal, and finally Hungary.
I think probably by far the best group.
Oh, for sure.
Expected and it delivered.
Yeah.
So many times.
I mean, just yesterday we
So
were.
many times groups don't deliver.
Yeah.
So many times you're just like, what is going on? Like, why is, this such a boring tournament? But
Yeah.
like, the tournament completely delivered. Sorry, the group completely delivered. All those teams performed really, really well.
Especially Hungary. You wouldn't have given
Especially
them a
Hungary.
chance.
At one point,
We thought.
at one point, it was France and Hungary going through
Yeah.
with what's it
Portugal
called?
finishing 3rd.
No, with Germany finishing 3rd and Portugal
Portugal
finishing
going.
4th. When they got the 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Portugal was going to finish 4th with 3 points. That was like a very, very exciting game at one point. Very happy to Umar and I were watching both
Games.
both the games at the same time, and it was a very, very thrilling match.
Our eyes were on one screen, then the other, then the other,
Yeah.
then the other. That moment when Germany finally scored and then
And
conceded
then
straight from
immediately-
kickoff, you're like, no, they're done.
Yeah.
Came back, Goretzka.
Yeah, 8 goals in over 2 games, 2-2s, 2-2,
2-2-2-2.
2 games of 2-2s. It was very fun, very exciting for neutral fans.
One game having 3 penalties, of which 2 were highly controversial.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you could
mean,
argue all 3
3
were
were highly
controversial, yeah.
I mean, Benzema scoring the only non-penalty goal.
Great finish, by the way.
Great finish. Great ball as well.
Yeah,
Great
Giroud
ball.
would have chipped that, and it would have been even better, and he would have celebrated.
With a knee slide.
Yeah, and very soon he would be the top scorer of the country. But here we are, still sitting in second place.
Stuck with Prime Benzema 19.
Mm.
Well, I think that's a group that, like, if anyone just like looks over the names, if whatever you could imagine, whatever the excitement you can imagine, I'm telling you, they got it.
Yeah.
They were brilliant. The group was brilliant. The teams were brilliant, and they performed.
France a little disappointing.
Lethargic, I would say so.
Mhm.
I think rusty,
Yeah.
but quality carried them through.
Yeah. There's just too
You
much
could see-
individual
you could-
brilliance in there.
Yeah, like, I mean, thinking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they're playing knockout football,
Yeah.
that through top balls to Mbappe are gonna work wonders.
Yeah. We saw it with the Semedo penalty. You know. Yeah.
You know, it's just gonna be like that, and they're gonna get through. So they got some. I mean, even Pogba turns. Pogba for France is so good. Like, he's just. I mean, when he puts on that red shirt, you're just like, what is going on, right? Who is this
Haircut guy.
B-tech of a footballer? But like, when he's playing for France, he's just so good, and he's been so good over the group stages, linked with Kante, and throw in any man with 2 legs, and he probably got one of the best midfielders in the whole competition. So.
And that is what we've seen,
Yeah.
Rabiot or Tolisso, whoever. It's just these two pulling the strings, Kante and Pogba, running games just single-handedly.
I mean, his shot that Rui Patricio saved yesterday, that like moment of football, one moment you think it's going in and then it gets saved.
Gets up, saves again, rebound, yeah.
It's like amazing
Beautiful.
stuff. You think that it's always just going to be over the top to
Mbappe or
but
Griezmann,
then you need a plan B and you got a plan C. Their fullbacks aren't bad either. They got 2 brothers playing left back.
Well, one brother, the other brother never.
Brother, we don't know what's really going on with him, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of things, but I think France are probably the easy favorites as always.
Yeah.
Rightly so. They're loaded.
They're loaded.
Like, I mean, unfortunately, Dembele limped out of the tournament
Mm-hmm.
because he got injured. Who did they bring on? Kingsley Coman. Like, come on. The guy who won 11 straight league titles in the world.
Apparently today, Talvan also had an injury. That's another winger down.
Yeah, I think that was like 4th choice winger.
4th choice, 5th choice, but
4th choice, 5th choice winger.
but yeah, it is.
I don't think he would have played.
That
I
many
don't
games.
even think he plays now.
Yeah, like Griezmann and Mbappe are the first choice, and then you've got Dembele and Coman, and then you've got Talvan. So 5th choice, I guess, really.
5th choice, right?
Yeah. But that's 3rd and 5th choice gone. So now they only have 3 options available.
Who are they?
Mbappe, Griezmann, and
No, I'm pretty sure.
Coman.
Like, Deschamps has played Sissoko as left wing before.
Oh yeah,
So-
Sissoko. Yeah, those are like the sort of makeshift players though. Tolisso can play there as well. Yeah.
Play there as well.
So yeah.
But they can replace them, right? Like injury clause, Alan Saint-Maximin or someone like. They're not short of options.
Yeah.
Right, they're not really short of options.
Let's go to number 2, Germany. 3-4-3. Gosens and Kimmich on the wings.
Yeah.
Just
I would say 8 out of that 11 is really good.
Oh, who are the 3?
The 3 center backs.
A Champions League winning Antonio Rudiger.
Absolutely dreadful. That 3 center backs.
Listen.
It's the 3 center backs collectively.
Just because he bit a player, all of a sudden he's bad.
That's what happened to Luis Suarez, right? But like, that 3 center backs together are horrible. They have 0 chemistry. Yesterday, a hungry second goal. Leroy Sané was literally playing as the
Ginter
right
was
center
gone
back.
for a walk. Hummels is too
Ginter-
slow to cover for him. Sane
they
too.
don't have the right chemistry.
Yeah,
Hummels and Ginter together are very slow,
yeah,
right? They only got Rudiger, who's got pace. Maybe Lowe is like playing them for pace,
yeah.
but or because he won the Champions League, he's not the greatest defender.
But the thing is, they don't have anyone else. You're not gonna play Sula. Sula, that there is
He's
no.
even slower. He's
Yeah.
even slower.
Um.
I think this is like a big thing that they need to work on.
Yeah.
Either they need to play Kimmich in midfield and
Mhm.
much deeper,
Mm.
or either they need to play Goretzka all the time because he hasn't been starting. He plays all the time and he covers that back three, right?
Mm.
Because there's a lot of defensive vulnerabilities there, and even looking at it, right?
Yeah.
Their game against France,
Mhm.
Germany against France.
Yeah.
France defended really well, and they have the defenders that they can do that, right? They had Varane and Kimpembe put on a shift with Kante, blocked out the midfield and that like penalty box
Mhm.
area. Mbappe one through ball and Mbappe was through.
Yeah.
One through ball and Mbappe was through. There was this one moment where it was just a loose ball and Mbappe just came out of the blue
Against
and
Hummels.
beat Hummels to
Yeah.
like you are
His
not,
touch let him down there. Otherwise, that was a goal.
Yeah, you are not gonna win.
A foot race.
Like not a fit. You're not gonna win like a tournament
The
with
thing-
this kind of like vulnerabilities. Like anyone with pace can just get in behind you. This is not FIFA.
The thing is, you have to accommodate for this defense, and I feel like this could work if they play like very deep. But when they play a high line and there's like 40 yards between the defenders and the keeper, and then
Yeah.
there's Mbappe running into that space, I mean, Hummels is not going to catch.
No, I completely agree
Yeah.
with you.
They need
But
to.
I don't see them playing very deep either.
There's no way Low plays deep.
I don't see them playing
Yeah.
very deep either. They don't, with all due respect, but I don't think their attack is that young anymore.
Yeah.
Because apart from Havertz, Werner doesn't start. Okay,
Werner-
Sané plays not as a winger, as a central
Yeah.
attacking midfielder.
Havertz has probably been their most furthest forward player up
He's
until
playing.
now.
He's been playing as the role that he's been playing with Chelsea,
Yeah.
and I think that is something greatly that's been adapted.
Yeah.
But we've seen Muller come on for Sané, completely different kind of players.
Mm.
One is more technical and more spatial
Yeah.
player. One is more pace and power. So
Yeah.
you can tell that there's no one system that
Mhm.
Germany are playing, unlike their infamous 4-2-3 one that won them so much
Yeah.
or delivered them so much success.
So let's go into the round of 16, just from here.
Yeah.
Picking up right from here, Germany
Yeah.
versus England.
It's been two bad sides.
Two very.
But given the fact that England have scored 2 goals
Mm-hmm.
and looking at Germany's bad defense,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I feel like that's like, the two opposite sides, right?
Yeah.
I would think Germany would go through.
Yeah.
Like that's the logical
Mm.
answer. Probably also because Germany has just done England so many times over.
Over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know England are still thinking of like getting revenge or whatnot, but I don't think it's happening.
It's not happening. No, I completely agree. I think this English team on paper is far superior to the German team, in my opinion.
Individual quality, yes.
Yeah. But Gareth Southgate
Actually,
tax.
I wouldn't even say that.
I
I
would.
would say that.
The defense.
Yeah, I know. I would just, but like, I don't think. I know Hummels is slow and bad, but is he any worse or is he any like different to like I don't know John Stones?
Stones can run. Maguire can't.
Yeah, the work.
But no, I know
Hummels or Maguire.
the English defense isn't the best, but I feel it's still better than
It's
the Germany.
compact.
Yeah.
I feel like as a team, as like when they play together, they're better.
Gareth Southgate football.
Yeah, not only that, but I felt
Mm.
like the problem with German
It's
defense
just there's too much
is that
room.
when they play together, they
Mhm.
don't fit.
Yeah.
I feel like they need one more player that is either kind of in between that defensive ability and pace,
Mm-hmm.
rather than it being completely slow and just good at stand tackles and whatnot. You need someone with a little bit more physicality in there. Someone who can actually cover spaces. I wouldn't even be afraid to put Kimmich in there.
Okay.
You know, just so someone can.
At center back.
Yeah.
Okay. Then who plays right back?
I'm pretty sure they can. Goretzka or someone can play.
Who can play there? Okay. So here at the sixth league, you've heard it. Germany versus England. Germany are going through. Let's finish this side of the bracket first, all the way to the final.
Okay.
Next team. Next game. Sweden Ukraine.
Ooh.
This is gonna be a tough. This is gonna be a very end-to-end game. I feel
like especially the way Sweden play. Right?
Yeah.
We've seen Alexander Isak run. I'm gonna go for Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
They top their group.
Yeah.
High on confidence.
Yeah.
What about you? You think Andriy Shevchenko is gonna pull something out of his very good-looking suit?
He looks very good. Mancini, you have some strong competition in terms of looks with the suits and all.
Just in terms of look, nothing else. Not in terms of football.
You know what? Sweden have. I want to make this interesting and just say Sweden. Ukraine, because I feel Yarmolenko, man, that guy's so good. Another Gareth Bale situation, maybe. I don't know what you want to call it. For a country, this guy turns up always.
I feel like Sweden have a better core as well.
I do agree. I just think that on the counter, I feel like Sweden will be the team in charge of that game. They will control the game more, and I think on the counter, Ukraine.
But that is one game that I will definitely be tuning into. I feel like it'll be a game. Maybe it'll just be 1-0 or 2-1, but it will be more end to end.
Then England, Germany, most probably. Let's be honest.
England, Germany. I feel like it's gonna be England parking the bus and just
Germany not being able
booting
to
it over to Sterling and probably Bukayo Saka.
One long ball and hope Kane just flicks it onto one of the wingers running. Yeah.
Probably Kane is probably the one that's gonna be playing that ball.
That's true as well. Next game, Netherlands, Czech Republic. I think straightforward.
That's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I hope Czech Republic put up a fight and give us something to watch.
Patrick Schick's had a very good tournament.
Yeah, he's third. He's second in the Golden Boot with 3 goals. So
3 goals, yeah.
But I hope.
I think Netherlands are too strong.
Netherlands' overall quality is just so high.
They've been very good.
I'm just saying, if Van Dijk was playing in this team, they would definitely be in the top 3 favorites.
Serious contenders.
Top 3 favorites for sure.
Finally, we've got Wales, Denmark.
Another great game.
I think Denmark.
I think this is even closer than Ukraine.
Sweden.
I think this is closer than Ukraine, Sweden.
Okay.
Wales have been actually decent, you know.
I agree with that.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have Robson Kanu this time around, but like.
No, Cruyff turn.
But they got Dan James.
I just feel like Denmark. You know, okay, interesting fact. Denmark have not lost any of the 3 games on XG. When creating, they have been very good in all 3 games, even despite the first game, which we've already talked about against Finland. And they have been very fun to watch. Even against Belgium, for a little while, we thought, you know what, they might just come away with the result.
Yeah, for sure.
And that final game, I mean, 4 goals right there. You know, I think they took out all the anger and frustration from those first 2 games into that. Yeah.
I completely see your point. And
there's also just one more fact. There's also that mental psychology, what they've been through. They probably want to do it for their friend.
Yeah.
And
as great as it sounds, sentimentally and everything, I disagree. It would be great if they managed to do it for Christian Eriksen, right? But I feel like mentally it's also taken a lot of toll on them.
That's
Just
true.
think of it. They've gone through so many emotions in the span of 2 weeks, right? They're definitely going to try hard and go on, but they got limits.
But
before the tournament started, like, you just think about like how much of a key player Eriksen would have been.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
On the pitch performances, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it? And just looking at like how the kind of like, you know, how they lost to Finland. Right. Granted the circumstances and whatnot, but the situations of leading up to the goal, the defending and everything.
But you have to. I mean, that was more of a one-off game. That keeper just had a penalty. They missed a that was just one-off ridiculous performance from the keeper. I feel I think 99 times out of 100 Denmark win that game.
Denmark win that
Even in those circumstances and whatnot. I
Mhm.
mean, they were far superior. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
And
no
if we're
doubt,
talking
yeah.
about individual quality, there's more in this Denmark team than there
I
is
agree.
Wales.
I agree.
You've
I
got
agree.
Bale, you've got Ramsey.
No. I completely
Yeah.
agree. Individually,
Yeah.
I think Denmark are heads in, but Delaney as well, man.
Mm.
Like he's been so
Yeah.
good, right? Like, I think individually, this Danish team is much better.
Mm.
Um,
Champions League winner Andreas Christensen, baby.
but like looking at Wales,
Yeah.
2016 is still very fresh in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Qualifying for 2020,
18.
you know,
Wait, 2018, the World Cup as well.
World
yeah.
Cup, but like also 2020.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I don't want to say this is the golden generation of Wales, but probably the greatest Welsh player ever
Mm.
playing right now,
Mm.
right?
Dan James.
Yeah, for sure. And Gareth Wales, you know,
Yeah, he's
an
balding.
average player with
He's
4
average.
Champions League medals. to his
Only.
name. I feel like he's pretty important.
Yeah. Okay, so the first game. Let's just finish this side of the bracket. Now let's go into the quarterfinal. You predicted Sweden and Germany,
Yes,
so they will play each other.
I Germany goes through.
Germany goes through. All right. Yeah, I agree. I think Germany are far too strong for Sweden.
Yeah.
And especially in the knockout tournaments, that's where your experience
I
comes
feel
in. When you
like-
have Kroos,
Yeah.
when you have Hummels, Neuer, whatever, I think that experience is
like
gonna
you
pay
were
off.
just looking at it, right?
Yeah.
And looking at them playing England
Mhm.
and then playing Sweden, I feel like England are stronger than Sweden.
That's true.
So having already gone through that stage, I don't think
There will be
there's
any
gonna be
hiccups.
like a step
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
We disagreed about Wales and Denmark who would go through,
Yeah,
but
where
I'm
they
pretty
playing?
sure we will both agree whoever goes through will play Netherlands.
I think
and
I
the
think Netherlands
Netherlands.
Germany will be a very very good semifinal.
That would be a very good semifinal. Netherlands, Germany. Who goes through from that?
That's a very tough one. I would say Netherlands,
Netherlands?
just because of how inconsistent Germany have been.
Mm-hmm.
Unless if they patch something up by then,
Yeah.
I think Netherlands.
The thing is, in 2018, we saw something very similar with France, who had a horrific group stage where they looked
Yeah.
terrible.
but
terrible.
But like
All of a sudden, the round of 16 started.
Unless
and
if Timo Werner is charging something else, you
Mm.
know.
Turbo Timos.
Yeah, and I mean they can play really well with like the likes of Sane and
Yeah.
Werner and like Havertz, but unless if something changes, unless
Yeah.
if something clicks, it's not really gonna happen, right?
Yeah,
So let's see though.
let's see.
But I would still put Netherlands because they also got to the Conference League, not the Conference League, the
Nations League.
Nations League final as well, and lost to Portugal.
Yeah.
So
Um,
they've been good as a team together, and it's been coming for a couple of years now.
they
I
haven't
mean,
made the last two professional
They were-
tournaments.
yeah,
Their
they were
fans
like, literally
were.
in the mud,
Yeah.
and so they've like risen from the ashes and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I think this is their recovery.
Okay, so Netherlands from this side of the fixtures
Bracket, yeah.
for the bracket would go through to the final. Let's go to the round of 16 from the other side of the bracket. The first game, big game, Belgium, Portugal.
Who do you think?
Belgium.
Yeah,
Belgium? Portugal have been.
I think.
If Renato Sanchez starts instead of William Carvalho, they might have a
I
chance.
think Renato Sanchez will start,
Hmm.
but
You can't just rule out Cristiano Ronaldo, though. Come on.
yeah, listen. I look like a real clown right now when I said on the podcast, don't pick Ronaldo. 12 million. He's 36-year-old.
5 goals.
He got 5 goals. Like I mean, come on.
I think 4 were penalties or 3?
Three were penalties.
Yeah.
Regardless, but that's not what I'm concerned about.
Hmm.
I'm concerned about that defense.
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz has looked
Semedo.
shaky.
Mhm.
You know, Semedo's injured. I think he'll be back,
Mhm.
but Cancelo might be back.
Even if he's not back, they've got Dallo.
Cancelo might be back.
That would definitely improve
really
them.
help them so much.
Yeah, but then again, first game back and you're throwing him against Carrasco. That
Yeah, who's been on like
a ridiculous
or
form.
Hazard, like
Or
you never
Hazard.
know. But
We're
or
talking about
both-
Thorgan.
or both, or all
Both
Hazards.
hazards.
And,
Yeah.
But just I think overall quality,
Mm-hmm.
given all the kind of form that like De Bruyne and Lukaku, these guys are
De Bruyne
on.
especially just returned seamlessly into this 11. Just too strong.
Just looking at it, right?
Yeah.
If this was Ronaldo back in 2016 or 2012, I felt like it would have been much more even.
Yeah.
But if Jota learns to square the ball a little bit more,
Or just pass. Yeah.
perhaps Bruno Fernandes again.
He's not gonna play. Let's be honest. I think
He's not even making the starting lineup, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna come on as a sub, and he's been poor as well.
The difference between Portugal in 16 and now was that at that time in every game they were headed as the underdogs. They didn't have enough quality. Now they do have the quality.
They have the names. They have the names, but like Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he's gonna like a better than 7 out of 10 rating. Right?
Okay, but you've got Felix on the bench who's not even playing.
I'm surprised Joao Felix doesn't play.
He hasn't played, yeah.
Even as like a winger, because he can play down the wing, right?
Especially in games where we've seen Jota mess up so many chances, like
exactly.
Bernardo's been the one going off, and Jota stayed.
And for like the likes of Bruno Fernandes. So.
Exactly.
But I still think Belgium just have the like.
Too much firepower.
I mean, they're very clinical as well, right? I can see Lukaku getting past Ruben Diaz, and that's it. Like goal.
Individually, I think even in defense, Portugal have the better names. And we talked about how shaky Belgium's defense is, but I think Belgium are more compact in defense than Portugal, and I just feel like they're better than them. Not based on the names. The names, obviously, Portugal has them, but I mean, if you put a back five with Roberto Martinez, who's proven himself to be a very good cup manager, he's not a good league manager, but he's so good in cup games. I just think they're too good.
No, I kind of agree with you on that point. I think this is probably the best Portugal team we've seen in
like 20 years, maybe.
Like, in terms of names.
Yeah.
But in terms of playing together, the chemistry and whatnot, it's still needs a lot of work. And I think that might help them a little bit after Cristiano Ronaldo retires, and if he retires, and when he retires.
Probably the World Cup next year is his last major tournament. Okay, so we both agree Belgium. Next game, Italy, Austria. Italy.
Yeah.
Let's just skip this.
David Alaba, country club. Country national team.
Alaba FC, basically.
Alaba NT. Yeah.
Arnautovic FC.
Arnautovic.
Next game, France, Switzerland.
Let's think about this one. We got a clear winner there.
Last game, which we've already talked about a bit, Croatia, Spain.
Spain go through. Yeah.
I disagree. Croatia, I think.
Croatia.
They play more like a team than Spain do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that, but they just don't have the players. I feel like at the end of the day, they're just still too reliant on an almost 36-year-old who isn't Ronaldo. Come on, you can't be expecting your midfielders to score all your goals, right? You can't rely on Perisic, Modric, like these guys to come up with the goods all the time, right?
But they have.
Yeah, but I know, but like for how much longer? They don't have a proper recognized striker who can actually deliver a goal threat.
They don't have a recognized striker, and they're still getting the goals. Spain do have 2 recognized strikers playing, and they're still not getting the goals.
Spain have scored like 7 goals, 8 goals this tournament.
They've scored 6 goals, and 5 of those came against Slovakia, which 2 were own goals. So we've got that.
Still, 5 goals are 5 goals. It doesn't matter how they come.
I mean, you could argue about Croatia scoring 4 in their last game as well, right?
Yeah,
or 3 or 4 against Scotland. I can't remember.
I think 3. 3-1, right?
3-1. All right, that's still decent. Okay. Let's move on to the quarterfinals. We predicted Belgium and we predict Italy. Who goes? Those are the 2 out of the 3 favorites that we considered.
That's a semi-final in my eyes.
That could be a final in my eyes, honestly.
Semi-final or a final in my eyes. I refuse to pick. I feel like it's a topic that we could go on for like a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Because it's.
And we've already gone on this video for like a long time.
I think Belgium, Italy is like a topic that we could really talk about for. There's too many factors that come into play.
France versus Croatia/Spain. I think we'll both agree who goes through from here. France.
Croatia.
Okay. Yeah. Now the winner of Belgium/Italy will face France in the semi-final, which are arguably the three favorites.
Yeah. Arguably, like some of the top three. A lot of the players' top three favorites.
Okay. Okay. We won't do a head-to-head. Out of these three names, Belgium, Italy, France, who do you think has the best chance of reaching the semi-final? Just
the semis?
Yeah.
France.
France? Okay. You know what? I'm going to disagree with you there.
Say Italy?
Yes, I don't think France are going to win this tournament. I don't think France
Historically, whenever I've seen Italy, except for the 2006 World Cup, they've been very disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And that when I saw the 2006 World Cup, it was one of my first
footballing memories. The thing is, 2006 was so long ago.
I know.
Yeah.
But like every time after that, they've just been so bad.
But we just talked about how Netherlands, the added motivation they have is the disappointment of the last two tournaments. You could make the same argument with Italy, you know. They haven't been that great. That might push them.
Their situation is very similar to Netherlands, for sure.
And I just feel like this France team they've got too much quality. That's the problem. So you don't want to write them off.
I just feel like...
But they've been disappointing.
Yeah, but...
They've just got too much quality. That's the problem.
The thing is that when you got too much quality, right?
Yeah.
Some of your players can have an off day and someone else will fill in the shoes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If Pogba has an off day, you can reckon Kante will spread the play.
Yeah.
Right? You know, if
Griezmann's not running, you've got Mbappe, Benzema, whatever, yeah.
If not them, you got Coman. If not Coman...
Kimpembe's having a bad game, no problem, Varane.
Right. So, like, there's just too much cover for France.
They've got so many good They've got two centre-backs playing as full-backs.
Lucas Hernandez plays as a full centre-back, so... There's just so much going on. Like, I just don't see them, you know, crashing out logically. It's just hard to predict it. If anyone says France aren't favorites, they're just trying to popularize an unpopular opinion, or they're just going on law of averages that, like, okay, France can't win everything forever, right? Someone else to win it. So if I call them as not being favorites, I was so smart. Logically, you weren't.
But Italy and Belgium have looked better than them. I'm going off...
Currently, yes. But imagine Mbappe running against Bonucci and Chiellini.
We saw Mbappe. Who did they drew against Hungary and Portugal. We didn't see Mbappe do much against the game we watched yesterday with Portugal, right?
Against Portugal.
Yeah. That was Karim Mustafa Benzema carrying them. Yeah.
I guess
again, off days. One guy has an off day, the other guy fills
it. But if you think about it, how many times Renato Sanchez dropped in deep to help that right hand side, right? And on the other hand, like, you know, on France's right hand side, they had Tolisso, Up and Griezmann, who were way too deep. Yeah. They were almost playing as a 4-4-2, which didn't really help them a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so you would say that France is gonna win that semi-final?
I would say France will win.
All right, that's fair. I'd say the winner of Italy-Belgium. I think Italy and Belgium, whoever goes through will beat France. I don't know if you remember the 2018 semi-final. Belgium were the better team against France.
Oh yeah, no. Listen.
That Eden Hazard masterclass.
Yeah, again, you know, that Hazard masterclass, and the fact that, you know, your go-kart missed an easy chance as well.
Oh, don't disrespect the second French top scorer of all time. Champions League winner Olivier Giroud. Mbappe bottled that final, but not Giroud because he didn't play.
Well, he didn't get to bottle it, but he does have European final goals though.
He does.
Regardless of that, I feel like that Belgium team 2018, great side, and I think they would have won the World Cup had they gone through. Yeah. I thought they were better than France, that team, and if it weren't for a certain, you know, robot just crossing into the legs of Umtiti and Varane, I felt like they would have done better.
The robot has been phenomenal this tournament, and Hazard's been the one obviously coming back from injury, not performing as great. So yeah, we're at the final. Netherlands versus France, Italy/Belgium. Who wins?
I don't see, just saying those names out loud, I don't see Italy making it to the final.
You don't see? Oh wow. Okay.
You heard it here.
You heard it here, and we will be back in a month's time. I think July 11th is the final.
Well, it's not even a month.
It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, we'll be back here, and I'll be saying
back here
Abdurrahman.
sooner, hopefully.
You called me a
If
madman.
people aren't too busy with
University.
yeah.
or packing.
Or packing.
Italy are winning the Euros. I'm calling it now, Abdurrahman. Italy.
I think one of France or Netherlands are winning their Euros.
So if Italy make it to the final against Netherlands, you'd predict the Netherlands to win?
Isn't that like impossible?
What do you mean?
Aren't like Italy and Netherlands playing each other? Or
No. Netherlands, we've already decided they're on the easy bracket.
Oh yeah, they're on the right hand side.
Yeah.
On the left hand side, if Italy make it to the final,
Yeah.
I think if they make it to the final, Italy will win. Because Italy, they got a lot more leadership, and when they get into the final, a lot more other
Keepers.
things.
We're forgetting keepers. Keepers are an important part, and Italy
I
have a
think,
really good one.
Donnarumma is heads and shoulders above. What's it called? Who's been starting for Netherlands these days?
Citizen?
Silson?
I don't know. I can't remember who.
I don't know. They don't really.
Yeah.
I've really seen.
But you can talk about the Italian defense all you want about them being old. They're still better than Netherlands. I mean, come on, Blind. Ake is off the bench.
Ake has been horrible.
Veltman.
Speaking of the two goals that they conceded,
Yeah.
they conceded when Ake came
Yeah.
on. So like,
Patrick Van Aanholt and Dumfries just not even in defense. They're practically wingers at this point.
I think if they get to the final, then what's it called? Italy win.
Yeah.
Because.
But you don't predict them to get to the final. You think France.
I think France. I think France are just.
So France are winning the Euros.
France or Netherlands, one of them.
Well, yeah, because that's what the final is. You gotta choose one, Abdurrahman. That's how.
Yeah, I know it's very stereotypical, but like.
France.
Nah.
Okay, that's fair.
We watched the game yesterday, right?
Yeah.
You think like, okay, Portugal might get this one.
Yeah.
Right, and France come back. Out of the blue, that Benzema goal, right? Just that pass from Pogba. It took like 10 seconds for that play to like be drawn up.
Yeah.
Benzema at 33 ran past the center backs of Ruben Diaz, and who is 23 and in his prime, 10 years younger than Benzema, literally in his like
prime. He just won player of the year.
Prime, running around. It just left him in the dust.
But
and he's not even Mbappe.
But you have all these facts, which is great. That doesn't change the fact that France were winning, and they gave a stupid hand. Well, that was one of the most. What was Koundé doing?
I don't know if those 3 penalties are ever given again in this tournament.
I'm sure
that Koundé handball. Yeah, I think that would have stayed. Because that was just
bad.
That was just
do you think that's just the player not playing so much? He just came on. He's still not fully.
No, it wasn't that, right? Like he blocked the first shot, and the second shot he started appealing.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping his arms down, like I don't know why you had to appeal, but regardless of who wins, whether it's like Italy, Netherlands, or France, or Belgium for that matter, I think. For yours, the knockout stages are probably the most exciting stages, except for the yesterday's group games in Group F.
Yeah.
I don't think there were some very exciting games where you're like, oh wow. Except for a handful, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So let's hope they can live up to the hype of these great matches that we're seeing. Hopefully England Germany isn't a bore fest, but it's probably going to be a bore fest.
I feel like the hype for that game is unreal, and then when the game actually comes,
it's also in England, right?
It's at Wembley, yeah. I think 25,000 capacity.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess that's it. Euros have been covered. We will obviously come back to these. We will be talking about, obviously we have the Fantasy League to go through. We're going to make one for every stage now, round of 16. We've got quarterfinal, we've got semifinals, finals. We will be talking about the Euros a lot, but thank you for joining us today, everybody. yeah, please let us know what you think of our predictions.
And let us know about your predictions down below in the comments, and let us know who you think will win the Euros.
And if it's not Italy, it should probably be France or
It
Belgium.
should be France, Belgium,
or maybe Netherlands, yeah. You know what? No, actually, one thing just before we end. Who are the dark horses right now? Out of all these teams, who do you think have like that off chance of performing out of nowhere?
From our analysis or the analysis of these pundits?
No, no.
And our analysis, I
the
think
pundits are out. If they wanted to watch the pundits, they would tune into BBC or whatever.
they wouldn't. Even they know that's not worth
I mean,
it.
you've got Jermaine Genius speaking. Who wants to listen to him?
Who could be the dark horses?
Mm.
Denmark? Spain?
You know what? I'm gonna argue Germany might be the dark.
Germany?
Yeah.
You know, I thought about Germany a
Yeah.
lot, but I don't know why.
That's too big a country to call.
It's too big of a team to be called dark horses.
You could call England dark horses instead of Germany.
Yeah. The thing is, I was gonna say Germany,
Yeah.
but Germany cannot be
The dark horse.
because
4-time World Cup winners, you know.
it's like saying like Brazil are dark horses.
Mm.
You know, just not happening. Just not happening.
Croatia?
No, not happening.
You think they're going out, but they're not.
If Croatia get past if Croatia get to the semis,
Yeah.
massive.
My boy
Massive.
Mateo Victor Krom Kovacic is gonna get them through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this edition, the Euros knockout stage edition of the Six League podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll see you very soon on the Fantasy League podcast. Bye bye.